Sir.
What's going on, guys? Joey here with the boys. Got Chris and Russ.
What's
What's going on,
happening?
fellas?
What's up? What's happening?
We just had Nationals pass, and Russ, do you remember the last time you did not compete at Nationals?
Yeah, well, actually, yeah. I mean, it was two nationals ago because I was serving my suspension or whatever. Or no, I was moving over feds, so I actually didn't do like USAPL Nats in like 2023, I believe. So I
Did you
missed that one.
do? We did. Korea was 2022, and then
Mhm.
did we do Nationals after that?
I
Oh
don't
no,
think
because
so
we
because we
haven't.
could.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if I had did nationals, then it would have the time served would have been too long, and it
Yeah.
would have bled into the that would have made me like eligible for Sheffield and all that.
Yeah, I remember that. That was cumbersome time, but it got all fixed. For those of you wondering why Russ didn't do nationals, he did Sheffield, and we kind of. Would you say that we went hard for that one? Would you say that we put a good amount of energy into preparing for that one?
Yeah, for sure,
Yeah,
100%.
yeah, we locked in for that one, and he could have done it, but he didn't have to. And even if he did it, his total from Sheffield counted anyway. Um, and he just didn't have to do it. And honestly, I personally don't like my lifters competing that. Like, if you got to go all out too close together, you're just asking for problems. Um, Amanda did it because Amanda just wanted to do it, and I guess she's bulletproof. But yeah,
I don't
it's
even think physically if I could. I don't even know how that would like. I don't even. I'm just now starting to feel okay, like strong wise, like in regards to my lifts. So like thinking about cutting weight and lifting at the level that those guys were lifting at to
yeah,
make it competitive. I just don't think I could do that in 8 weeks turnaround time.
it's
I
not.
think I think it's very important. Like a lot of there's people in the community that they just think that every lifter can just like hit a meet, get off a meet, get right back into like a 4 or 5 week prep, do another meet. It's like not every lifter is built like that, especially like the super strong, advanced lifters that have been doing this for a while. Like if you squat like 800 pounds, whatever the case may be, 750, whatever, you need time to recover. And a lot of people in the community just don't understand that. So I think, I don't know, Joe, if you want to speak to that, but
I'm trying to turn your mic up because you're a little quiet. Let me see. Speak. Say anything. Say what's up, Chris.
what up?
Yeah, that's much better. Okay. Um, no, I agree. I mean, it depends where you're at in your career, right? So if you're super new and you're gaining strength rapidly and you're like really durable, it's probably okay. But for guys like Russ, I mean, Keiko took 14 months off. Russ almost took him out. I think you took about the same amount of time off from November to when you came back. It was November to April or late March. So if you're that further on, yeah, they could have competed in between there somewhere, and they could have like hit some little PRs, but like it's just better to put the time in. You're really going to be making the majority of your gains when you're at this level. And Russ, you've done this for years, and this is something that I think you do really well. And if lifters don't do this, I can name a few. Like if they don't do this, if they don't have the whatever you want to call it, discipline, capacity to do this, it's just gonna really hold them back. And that's you compete, you have an off season, you gain some weight, you put on some good muscle, you diet back a little bit, you get within striking range, and then you make the weight with that new body, and you're just better, right? If lifters can't do that, it's the longer you get into it, you're just kind of gonna be stuck. And it's funny looking at the bodybuilding community because I follow bodybuilding like really closely for some reason. I don't know why. I just I just know a lot of guys that do it, so I look at it all the time. Um, there's always like discussions of like you shouldn't cut. They're like you shouldn't bulk. You should just like maintain and gain a little bit. I don't agree you should sloppy bulk, but like you could do it smart. And you just want like you want to get that engine going. You want to feel like okay, I'm eating a little bit more than normal. I'm outputting more. I'm handling more. My body's adapting better. I'm growing better. I'm healing my injuries and I'm getting stronger. And you could just do that for methodically for a little bit, get to a certain point, and then chop off some of that weight. If you're doing everything right, it's the same shit that you were doing. You're just eating a little bit less, and then you get within that range, and then we do our cut, and then you're good to go. So I think um, being able to do that is like if you look at you, Keiko, Gustav, Emil, um, Delaney to some extent, uh, especially in the smaller weight classes, it fucking it works. It works, and I think there's a lot that we can learn or powerlifting can learn because I'm pretty sure all of us have like Russ definitely has like one foot in a like body. A lot of our inspiration probably comes from bodybuilding, right? Just a lot of the shit that we do. Um, they've been doing that, right? They've been doing that. You go in the off season, you put your shell on, put the sweater on, right? You work hard, and then when it's time, you present something different. And for
Yeah.
them, it's a different physique. For us, it's more weight on the platform. And I think same for football. What are they doing in football? You have off season, you're getting better at what you're doing. You're coming back and then you're just more production, more durability. You're better at certain plays, more refined. So I just think people need that. And if you get caught in it's like a wheel of just competition. I mean, like with Keiko, we were like going up a little bit. We were just chipping everything. We're just doing a little 2.5 every time we could, but we never really had the opportunity to take a step back and refine. Um, Russ, let me ask you, did you feel, and I kind of felt this and you can tell me if you felt this, um,
Mhm.
taking that break from November 2022 all the way to do the whole year and then coming back at 2023 PA Nationals where I think you hit the 860. Um, did you feel like mentally the break was good or it was a little longer than you would have liked? And also, did you feel rusty touching the platform for the first time in so long?
So I'm a big fan of breaks, and we say breaks in regards to this competition, but it's not like an actual break. I
You're still
think,
working.
yeah, still working hard as hell. So I'm a fan of that because I love progression, and as a lifter that is getting closer to my potential lifting capacity, it's important that I do have these long off seasons in order to continue to build strength. And kind of like echoing what you said, if I'm doing meets back to back to back to back, there's no real opportunity to actually grow and build. So I always take advantage of those long rest periods. And yeah, I was for sure rusty as fuck on that platform. I think sometimes like we forget I think competing is a skill. Like it's something that you learn. And I mean, shit, we were talking to Rondell when we ran into him at Nats at the gym, and I was telling him how to approach American nationals. I'm like, hey, they call shit a little differently. Here's where you can maybe take advantage and like, lift bigger numbers. I'm not saying this is foolproof, but this is how I kind of like strategically go about things in my mind when I'm on the platform. And when I stepped back in 2020, it was actually 2024. I was just like, this shit, it felt foreign. I felt weird. Like when I was squatting and the lights were just like were like fucking me up a little bit. Like just, like that veteran skill of competing just wasn't there. And then funny enough, when I did worlds, it was there, just not like the best of preps. And I felt super comfortable on the platform. And then everything came together on Sheffield. So
I will say, and this is, I don't remember it, I don't think, no, for Nationals and Worlds, we didn't, I don't even know if we used FAM. I think we were just like, whatever we got,
yeah,
we're going to
we
bring
were
it in. Um,
tripping.
you looked physically more brolic at Nationals, and then at Worlds, I'm not gonna lie, you looked like a little flat. Like I know
Yeah,
your body, like I know how you need to look. Like that's why I'm always telling you, like I need to see the forearms coming out after the weigh-ins, right?
yeah.
And when I looked at you, I was like, yeah, this guy, like he lost some weight, right? And then at Sheffield, when I already knew it was gonna be a good day, because I was like, that's the Russ that I know. You know what I mean? That's that peak form. So, um, and I truly felt that at Sheffield, and I know you've probably touched on it in your YouTube videos. I truly felt that like the years that I've done Sheffield, I've done so many, right? But you've not been there, and I just always felt like obviously I'm there with the team, but like, bro, this meet was made for Russ.
Yeah.
And to see you go out there and have fun with it, I mean, that's if you look at okay, all right, we're back. But
Jesus.
you and Keiko, these last two meets, you guys had fun, and when you have
Yeah.
fun, it's like the confidence is that you can't have fun without the confidence. You're not gonna be timid and have
Well,
fun.
I'm gonna give the listeners some like BTS here. Whenever we were getting ready for Sheffield, I'm talking about like months on end. Personal calls from Joey, personal calls from Big Body. Yo, just have fun, go out there and live your life. Like, you've done X, Y, and Z. Like, you don't have anything to prove. Like, whatever happens. You like da da da. You've done sport. It was like the constant theme was like have fun. This should be a celebration of what we've accomplished. So like, just imagine like every week it's like like a big ass paragraph or an actual phone call talking about yo, let's just go in and have fun. And I wanted that to show on the platform. Like I was like, yo, like I'm getting older as a lifter. Not that I'm done, but it's just like, these opportunities are not always going to present itself and they're not always a given. This isn't when I was like 23, 24, and like I just show up and it's like, first place automatic. I got to really battle for that shit. So I just wanted to take that moment in and then obviously you guys backing me with that was dope as fuck. But yeah, just some BTS. The same thing that they're telling y'all right now are telling me. It's like, bro, they were giving that to me for like fucking months before I actually stepped on the platform.
Well,
I'm gonna have a old head moment real quick. What is BTS?
behind the
Behind the
scenes.
scenes.
Oh, bro, everybody abbreviates everything these days. I
Yeah,
just wanted to
BTS.
say something real quick. Um, wanted to touch back to take it back real quick to like you talking about like when he was at Worlds really quick. I remember we were here back in the States and I was with mom and we were getting up super early watching the streams. And I could just see like you could see the flatness through the screen on YouTube. Like I was looking at mom and I was like, that's just flat right now. But being there in person on Sheffield, like I've trained with Russ for quite some time now, and just being at his gym and just being out in Houston for a little bit. When we were warming up at Sheffield, like this is kind of like one of those things where like young kids are probably gonna roll their eyes, whatever, but like you don't understand, like Russ was so strong during warm-ups. Like I remember we were just putting on reds. And when he was like just like setting up with the bar, he was in the rack, like he was moving the way you were moving the rack, you unrack your walkout, like how fast you were making four reds move, five reds move. I remember when you racked, I remember you had three reds and you racked three reds. When you racked three reds, we felt the floor shake. Like I think it was like me and Mikey were warming up. It was just three reds, you know what I mean? And we were just like, God dang, he's so strong. Like he literally was like unrack, hit the rep, warm ups, whatever, re-rack. It was just like boom, like every step was crazy. So it's just like you just knew he was on, and you knew that the process was right coming into that day. So I just kind of wanted to like talk about the comparisons of like how he was at Worlds compared to how he was at Sheffield. There was a real difference. And I also wanted to comment on you like, yeah, we were reaching out. We were kind of getting the mind right on those calls and everything. But it definitely also was you know, talking about we're coming out here for a reason. It's gonna be a
Yeah.
celebration, it's gonna have fun, but we're coming out here for a reason. So, yeah, I couldn't have been more happier about just what we do as a team and how, like, if there's ever been a loss, especially for you and Joe, and those two times that that's happened, you guys got those back. I just kind of wanted to make sure that that's known the differences of like, it doesn't happen often. just for the listeners out there to know, like, no, like nobody wins forever, but it's really important to highlight how long you guys have been in this game and how you've made your corrections. And if there's ever been a loss, went and got it back.
Yeah.
So
I appreciate that.
I think that's got to be really like nobody talks about that, you know. And I just want to make sure I touch on those things.
There,
But yeah,
so
man, he was ready to go at Sheffield. That shit was
somebody asked a
insane.
question since we're on it, and we're gonna do more questions at the end, but I just want to interject it because it fits perfect with what we're talking about.
I'm gonna close my video real quick, but I'll still be here. 1 second.
Okay. It says, how do you and your brother split up the handling when it comes to Russell's meets? So basically, what happens is, um, I don't always have Chris, but for if I can have Chris, I will have Chris there. I think for usually at meets like that, I have to I gotta handle the girls first, right? So like I gotta go up to the platform with the girls, and the way Sheffield works is the girls are gonna go first while the guys are warming up, and then when the girls are done, the guys are gonna go. I'll have like at least three guys in the warm-up room to warm up the whole team, and then I'm just on the platform the entire time. And these are guys that I work very closely with, who, if something were to happen to me, like let's say I were to slip and fall, and they had to close it out, right? That I would trust them to do that. I got Grant, who's like my numbers guy. He's really, really good with numbers. He's very practical. He doesn't have as personal of a relationship with the lifters as me. And although I can put my feelings and emotions and shit to the side, especially now in my career, and just call the numbers, but to have someone that is just a computer that's just right there, that we could call it, we can like I'll say, hey, I'm thinking about going like this. Football teams do the same shit, right? You have an offensive coordinator, you have a head coach, you have the quarterback. Everybody's coming together. Chris, your mic is out again. Your head, your camera. But you know what I mean? Like it's one of those things where I like to have the personnel with me, and also they're getting experience, and it's just making us better as a team. And when I do it in a very, it's almost like subtle, like they're there, but I am communicating with them, and there have been many times when I'll never forget this one nationals where I had to just grab Mikey and say, "This is Cam Smith. I want him to get third place. He's going against this person. Pay attention to the screen. I gotta handle Keiko right now." You know what I mean? I should be able to do that. So Chris will warm up. Chris is gonna warm them up. I didn't get to see any warm ups. I literally just send them a text and be like, "How'd it look?" And they say, "We're on."
Oh
Okay.
yeah, that
Yeah.
was crazy.
Yeah. That's all I need. That's all I need. I just need to know. I just need to know. Am I working with my top numbers today, or am I cutting everything down? That's it. And that's the biggest thing after a weight cut. So Chris will warm them up. He'll be like texting me things that he's feeling. He'll let me know details about the weight cut. For example, I'm dealing with the girls, and then they're Chris and Grant are like, "Yo, Russ is cramping," and then we're like, "All right, straight water. Like just start blasting water and find potassium if you can. That's it. Don't be adding no salt, none of that." And then I literally will grab Chris and I'll say, "Hey, Chris, handle it. I gotta go." Like, you know what I mean? Like there's just certain things, and that's why I like running the team like this is if you have different departments and you can have people that specialize in certain things. For example, if I'm going in with Keiko, I think I'd rather I could bring Chris, but I could bring a William also. Um, and like I could bring a Grant, but William is going to be kind of like my first one for that. I have had Will with me with Russ before. But it is different. It is if Chris is there, Chris knows Russ, and he's going to be able to communicate certain things and just get a feel for how his mood is and how things are, um, in a way that none of the other guys are probably going to be able to do that, or their information may be imperfect. Um, but yeah, that's also me and Chris talk all the time. It's more that it's like when you're competing at these high levels, like we've done juniors, we've done open, we've done Sheffield multiple times, we've done all these things, and seeing Chris's confidence just grow over the years, I believe now he can handle anything. Like I could bring him to anywhere and say, yeah, we're about to go in this. There's no like in 2017, you could cut the air with the tension, right? 2016, 2015, those earlier years. I remember those big days. I remember the fucking tenseness in the room with John going against Gibbs, and now I don't know why I'm too relaxed. It's not that I'm too relaxed. I'm very comfortable. Like with Keiko, when he was in that sandwich between Gavin and Petrie, it was like, all right, well, if Gavin gets it, we're just doing this, and if he doesn't get it, we go this one, and Petrie's gonna have to pull something big. And it's literally, I don't feel shit when I'm doing it. It's just what I gotta do. I don't know how to explain that. There was a time when yes, I would feel you're cutting through this emotion to get to the perfect action in the moment. But after what we went through last year, Russ, from nationals to worlds to getting it back at Sheffield, I think that worlds, like I truly consider myself like a fucking sensei, right? And you think, and there's times when I'll see little things about me and I'm like, I could still get sharper at something. I could still this little thing, like yes, I got the job done, but I could get it done freeing up 10% more mental space, and I could use that 10% on something in the future. Like it's like you think about handling things in front of you, but then part of my brain is always thinking about what's coming. And if I can
Mhm.
free up this action, this was in front of me right now, like it takes me like nothing to handle it. I can almost be in the future, and then I'm just guiding myself to that point in the future, if that makes sense. I don't know if that fucking makes sense, but it's the same thing with the training block. I knew exactly what I wanted to do. Fucking like we had worlds. 4 days went by. I had to handle the rest of the team. Like on the plane, I was like, this is what we're doing with Russ. This is where I want to go with him. And we're going to do these things. And it's going to lead to. I fucking remember sending you the audio. You might die, but if you survive this, you will
I
come out
remember
on the
that.
other side and you will be. You will literally
I was,
unlock. You have unlocked
yeah,
gear 5.
I was
I have a
vibing.
question.
Go ahead.
I have a question. Since you mentioned that, I've been thinking about this over the weeks. Joe, how would if someone asked you about our style of how we guide athletes as it pertains to progressing them through strength, but also coaching them and guiding them through those processes, how would you describe the flex training system's way?
Wait, before we get into that, I was gonna make a comment
Go
about
ahead.
the
Go ahead.
handling thing, like with
Yeah. Yeah.
how I don't know if you want to jump in on that body too with the handling, because the question was I think like how do you guys like handle like both
Chris
at the
was.
same time, right?
He said, "How do you and your brother split up the handling when it comes to Russ's meets?"
Oh, okay,
Oh,
yeah. So I mean, I'll jump in really
Yeah.
quick. I mean, if you
go
want to
ahead.
go, you can go because mine's just gonna be from the athlete's perspective.
No, go ahead, Russ, and then we'll do
Uh,
him.
Yeah.
yeah, go ahead.
Oh, you got it. You.
Okay, so no, I mean it's like just mimicking off of what he said. We know our roles. So, like for instance, I understand like Joe's the head coach, right? I have a job to make sure that I'm support, warm up, mindset, make sure cuts and
Timing,
recomps go well.
weight cut, meat,
Yeah,
meat
all that stuff. All
nutrition, all
all
that.
the little tedious things that are extremely important. Like for instance, I remember at Sheffield, Russ, like I was telling you, like, I'm gonna be annoying today, but it's necessary because if you are back to training weight, you will have all the available power that you worked for in prep. Like you do the work to make body weight. But I'm gonna tell you all the little things that an athlete could it's not that you don't know it, but you could forget it because there's a lot of shit going on and
Yeah.
the energy's up, nerves could be up for some other lifters, whatever case may be. So it's important to have a reminder of like, we need to take X amount milligrams or milliliters of this much hydration, sodium, potassium, electrolytes. We need to hit this banana now. We need to hit this at this point in time. Make sure everything's on point. I mean, when is this guy up? Mikey, oh, we got to put on this red, whatever, right? All the little things that's automated now because we've done it for so long. So, like, how we split it up, Joe was up top, like for Sheffield, particularly Joe, it's literally get the lifters primed, ready to go, recomped, send them to Joe. Joe takes on the lifters. And now Joe Rush, Joe Jesus, whoever. When it's been Mikey at Sheffield, Delaney, whoever. Michael, Joe takes them. Sonita, Amanda, whatever, right? Alba, he'll take those lifters. Now they go to work. Spot's done. come back down, and there's phases for like recomping, and there's processes to like what do we do for squats, what do we do for bench, what do we do for deads, right? So in terms of how we split it, that would be the explanation, kind of a quick rundown of how that goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just from the athletes, from my perspective, the athlete's perspective, like I mean, I could talk about just handling in a broad perspective, and then what it's like to be handled by these two guys. So for me, it was, I mean, like handling is an underrated part of meet day, right? And I'm curious to know like how many lifters are being mishandled, not necessarily by the numbers, but just by the vibes, right? Because like I look around some of the warm up rooms and I see like the coach and athlete relationship, and I know like, yo, I'm on a squad where I'm gonna be highly motivated to compete. And sometimes personalities don't mesh well. You might have a coach that's super, I think the word's neurotic or cerebral. And you have a lifter that's more kind of like a flow state type of lifter, kind of like, yo, I'm just kind of trying to get in my zone. I don't talk much, whatever. I'm super locked in. And that cerebralness will fuck up the vibe of the lifter and potentially harm his performance on the platform. When I look at like kind of what we've been able to establish, I think we all come from a sports background. Big body really, really like emulates that in real life. So whenever he was handling me backstage for Sheffield, this was like the first time where he was like directly handling me. So um the roles were all kind of fleshed out prior. Like we kind of understood what was gonna go down. So I'll just talk about the day itself. Like body came with me to my room. We saunaed together. Like he literally sat there and watched me sauna all the way down to 83. We went back up to my room. I got ready. He actually tied my tie, helped me put my fucking tie on. We went from the venue. We went from the hotel to the venue, and then from that point, like he said earlier, he's like, "Yo, I'm gonna be on your ass," and I'm like, "Nah, like I understand. Like this is your job. Do what you got to do. Hold me accountable." It's like literally, he's Joey has to go upstairs to where the platform is at, and we're downstairs where the warm ups rooms at.
It's not that
So it's
easy to
like,
get to like quickly between
and
them.
it's yeah, and it's not. It takes about maybe like 2 minutes, like 2 to 3
Yeah.
minutes, like because you literally have to take an elevator and shit. So we're downstairs warming up, and luckily, Body is very, very much into sports, much into that sports culture. We were probably everyone in the warm room was probably like, "What the fuck are these guys on?" Like literally, like we were turned up. If we were allowed to blast music in there, I would have had fucking Moneybag Yo and like ignorant shit playing back there, right? But like we're turning it up. I'm squatting. I'm getting loud. Like I'm doing my squat shit. I'm like doing like fake jumpers and shit. But like that allowed me to be loose. Like I didn't feel the pressure of like
Because where the
330,000 or
team
how
is
many
with you.
people
Your team is
watching.
there.
Yeah, my squad is with me, my boys are with me. So it's like, yo, we're gonna tackle everything we got. We're gonna tackle anything that we have in front of us. So I felt very comfortable and I felt confident, but it's mostly because of the team that I had around me. And I feel like sometimes as a lifter, you get lost, or sometimes you're not guided well, or you're not properly represented, and sometimes that hinders you on the platform. But it's very easy. Like I think sometimes we forget that not every lifter has this.
Yeah.
Not every coach can operate like this. Like literally, I'm like, yo, Joey's the head coach. If Joey needs to step in and say something, he will. But I'm with my position coach downstairs. We're putting the game plan together, or we're getting prepared right now. Coach has the game plan. We go upstairs. My position coach lets the head coach know, hey, he knows what he's doing. He knows the plays. Call whatever you want. You could call this play because we studied this one. We're good.
And
So that's how.
the cool thing about these guys is, and I always like, I fucking try to put their name out there more than they even care to. Like me and Grant will like study a bunch of shit and go over a bunch of shit so that on the day we're ready to go. And like he doesn't even need to talk to you. Like he doesn't even have to
Yes.
say shit.
Also,
Go
yeah,
ahead, bro.
shout out to Grant because I'm very you have to for me, like since I've been here for so long, you have to like prove yourself and earn your keep. Personally, right? Like so when Joe is like, hey man, Grant's gonna be there helping. I'm like, all right, like,
Yeah.
you're the head coach. You brought this new guy in. Cool. I'm not gonna say nothing. But in my head, I'm like, man, I don't know about this motherfucker, man. Shout out to Grant. I was like, man, I don't know. But then when we got to the meet day and he started like, saying stuff and like things that aligned with what our vision was, I was like, all right, he
he
cool.
he played football too. He's just
Yeah.
smart.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was just mostly like you can't just you can't just be handled by any and everybody.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
In my
yeah.
personal opinion, it don't work like that.
But then Chris stayed down. I would be like, hey, Jesus is coming up anyway. Come up with Jesus. You and Russ don't need to really interact. I'm literally gonna like I turn around, like I see your lift. I'm like, okay, I'm going for this. I turn around and he's either gonna nod his head or he's gonna be like go up, right? And that gives me the okay, it looked good from his end. I think it looked good from my end. Cause where I'm at, there's like 20 spotters. I try to look at the bar where it sits on your back and when you slow down, how that moves. Cause that's really the only thing I can see. I can't see your hip or nothing. Um, but yeah, it's one of those things where having the right guys in the right situation definitely I think is like really important. And at those big meets I try to have that. I've done the same thing. Like if I have Alba, I know that from the Swedish coaches she likes like a specific team to be there as well, and I will work with them because that's the team that's going to make her comfortable, you know what
Yeah.
I mean? And that's something that um I am. I think it's really important to recognize that it's not about who gets credit. It's not about none of that shit. It's like let's win. The team needs to win. The athlete needs to have all this sort of juice behind them to perform at a level that you know is never done before. I just thought about this the other day. The last couple meets that we've had, like as a team, these are totals that no one has ever done before. When you did 870, nobody ever did 870. Keiko just did 920. No one has ever done 920. Like these are performances that when I really think about it, it's fucking crazy. It's like, so you're telling me this sport has been around for so long, and our little group did a thing that nobody has ever done. I cannot tell you how many world records have been broken, and to me, it's like we almost we almost don't appreciate it because my fucking mind is so much like we
Don't.
win, we do this fucking amazing thing, and then like okay, so Sheffield I see as like the Super Bowl. It's like the end of the season, right? You have the World Championships. You do the Sheffield. It was like the end of a storyline to complete a certain like drama, whatever. Like we do the Nationals, we lose the Worlds, we win the Sheffield, close it out, right? And then maybe that gets rekindled at World Games, which we could talk later. But like for the first time, I had like 2, 3 weeks where I was like trying, like I felt the happiness of doing hard work and getting a result. And then it was immediately like, he's competing in August. Let's get back to it. And then I had to shift my mind to Keiko has a big ass matchup now. Delaney has a good matchup now. Let me lock those guys in and put everything into that. And Chris said the night before Keiko competed, and this is what's good about Chris is he emphasizes the theme. You didn't need to tell me that, but we were in the B&B. We had Will, Mikey, everybody, all the guys that were going to be in that session with Keiko. And that was a session where, like, bro, it has to be all hands on deck. Um, Chris, what did you say? You said, we have to execute. Crana needs to win. Keiko needs to win. Da 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 da. This and that. And then we wanted Meech to get second, which he barely missed it. And he was just talking to Meech was in there too. You were just talking to us, and Chris was just reiterating, this is why we're here. This is the big day. This is the one that we need to get done. And I don't know how much of the guys took it in, but then once we got there, it was like the machine was ready. I didn't even look at Keiko. I didn't even see his fucking warm ups. I was with Cranon, you know what I mean? And Rachel. So like that if I don't trust them and if they imagine, yeah man, Keiko's looking great. Come out, hits the opener, looks trash. I'm like, holy, what am I doing? What are we doing? You know what I'm saying? Like I gotta have guys that I don't I don't need to question what they tell me. And I have
Yeah.
to in my spot. They need to be able to tell me something, and I have to be able to go with that. I have to be able to go with that. I have to be able to go like, all right, Chris said he's on.
Yeah.
We're gonna be on. That's it.
I wanna speak to something too about this really quick as I'm sure we're gonna close this question out, but so like there's so many people in this sport that don't come from sports backgrounds or like they just like, people in categories or sports or just fans or people that are just novices or just haven't been doing it, don't have enough experience. They just say whatever. They just say what they feel, and then that gets regurgitated and spread out throughout the sport, whatever the case may be. And one of those things is like people saying like powerlifting's like it's not a team sport. There's no team aspects within it, or just things of that nature. And it's like, I don't know what you're talking about because on our team, it's like we have a system, we have coaches that support our athletes, we have a
Yep.
culture, we have like our top dog athletes that like we show them a lot because it's not like only these 50 lifters are the most important on the team. It's no, like this is a standard that we are working to constantly help produce and work with our people to get more athletes to that level to show the rest of our team this is where if you want to get here, this is what we want you to get to, right? So it's like the football thing, right? Like we come from that background where you have team captains. So like the Russes, the Amandas, the Jesuses, the Albas on the come ups, the Crannons on the come ups, Elif Miyagi, who made history. That was a huge year for him. The Delaney's. I go on and on and on. Now Devin Williams from another coach, Mikey D. He's gonna go to Worlds now. Like that's the standard and the example we want to show our team and the community. Like, look, it's constant lifters being built, and this comes from the team. And when we're in a meet setting, right? Like everyone has their job. Like I was talking to my brother the other day, and I was telling him like my mindset is literally if I have athletes on my roster that help our team help push and get to the goals that we want to get to, great. If Grant has someone that can do that, great. If Mikey, but somebody has to continue to produce, and we have to work our tails off to keep showing that level of like it's just so funny when people talk out of their butts or say what they feel or project their insecurities. And it's like, bro, we're literally out here every single year, and it's either a different coach or a different lifter that's going to Worlds, going to Sheffield. It's a different athlete, at least one, or someone won nationals or podium. I think we podiumed if not, I think we podiumed every night at nationals.
Yes.
We podiumed every night at nationals.
That's
Some
crazy.
coach had somebody podium. It wasn't just myself or it was Mikey D or Grant. They had Grant Demetrius is right there. He's a deadly 93, so on and so forth. So it's like,
That's why I told his
Williams got
ass to take his ass home.
I know, man.
what was that?
He
I
spent
told his
too
ass to go home.
he spent too long just at the
I
venue, and
was
it's
like,
like,
I pulled up. I mean, I already told you. I pulled up on him. I said, every second that you stay here is a kilo off your total.
Yeah. Yeah. So just to finish what I'm saying, like this is a team. I don't know about others, but this is a team. The Flex
100%.
training system is a team. Our coaches know our roles, and it's not always like all of us supporting Joe. Like when when Mikey D and Big Dev had their battle, it was like, okay, now we're supporters. Joe was supporting, Grant was supporting, I was supporting, and that's a beautiful thing because it's like a lot of
what did I
selflessness,
say to you
and
guys
we
at pizza?
understand.
Went to
What was
get
that?
pizza, and I walked in the room and I saw all the boys sitting there, and I came in last. I just looked at them and I was like, you know this shit that we got going on right here? This is special.
Yeah,
I brought those guys to Sheffield too, and it's like it's always getting the job done and then having the food after where you look at everyone and you're like, I could trust any one of these motherfuckers, you know? And it's super fucking rare. It is so goddamn rare. And it's
and Joe, I want to, and I just again finishing what I'm saying, like it requires a certain set of individuals that are trusted and that you have rhythm of doing this with. Like every time we do meets and I'm working with Cranon, at this point
oh yeah.
now, like I haven't talked. Like maybe Cranon and I will very briefly text. Like he's got a quick question or something, and like maybe like she's up at like super early, and Joe's not gonna get up till like maybe 7 a.m. She's up at 5 a.m. Right?
Yeah.
I'm weird. I'm up at every hour of the day, every day. But like I haven't talked to her in a while. Text sometimes or hey, how you doing? Everything. But really it's been like a year without seeing each other. We just pulled up to Nats and her and I were literally talking as if like I was with her yesterday at the gym or something. Like it was natural. And when like she had a little wrist issue or a little bit of cramping. It was just like, okay, we got to do this, boom, 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 boom. And it was just simple processes, give the information. And that's another thing too that I want, like, has to be said and known. It is so beautiful and so important for people to understand. Like, I don't know how other teams do their stuff, and this is not a knock on them. How I love how our top level athletes, especially like yourself, Russ, like Cranon, like Jesus, and so on and so forth, are athletes, and you allow yourselves to just be athletes and not have to focus on the nonsense that's
Yeah.
not your job. Focus on your job. Because you focus on your job, it allows us to do our job. And as everyone delegated with their responsibilities, then that's where that team aspect comes together, where all the moving parts are now flowing in motion. And it's a beautiful thing because it's like I want young lifters to also that are hearing this, that are on the come up, to understand, like, we have a guy here on the podcast that's been to the world stage 4 times. He's won twice. He's got all his get backs back. He's redeemed himself every time. He's been to Sheffield now. I don't even know how many national titles he has. I don't know how many records he's broken, squat records, total records. It's insane. Even where this
Thanks.
guy is now, and he's closing out, he's going to World Games, last 83 meet, as far as I understand. I don't want to speak for nobody. And then on to the next class 93s, right? Even as decorated as he is, he's still willing to take instruction, not from like, oh, listen to me, I'm the man, but more so of like, no, like I understand what my job is. You're here to help me. You know what I mean? And even Joe, like, as decorated as Joe is, there's times where like the subordinate coaches or the supporting coaches will have our little key pieces, or like just our inputs, to kind of give him things to consider as he's the head man orchestrating. He listens. You know what I mean? Even as decorated as he is, he listens to his people. And I say all this to say that's a team thing there. Like I come from football for decades. Joe, us, y'all do too. There's many times where like Bill Belichick will be doing what he's doing, or Phil Jackson's doing what he's doing, and one of his assistant coaches are like, "Hey, there's a key piece information, like, oh, here's a detail. Don't we want to stay accountable of, right?" And he'll be like, "Oh, thank you for that. Okay, yeah, yeah." And now the mastermind can do his work, or whatever the case may be. So I just wanted to explain this. Like, I don't know how other teams are, and people that speak on like it's just an individualistic sport and da 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 da, but it's like, I don't know
Nah,
about others, but we have our system and it's very team oriented over here. And that's what I love so much about what we do. And I lastly just gonna say, I feel like we're really catching our rhythm and our stride. Like when we're at these big meets now, it's like you were saying, Joe, earlier, like Nationals meet was nothing. Like after being at 3 Sheffields, you guys being at X amount of worlds, countless worlds, it's like it's just automated system now. We know to expect the decision making just like snaps. It just comes to you because we've done it for so much. So that's a beautiful thing, and this couldn't be more of a team sport for how we do things. Yeah, it's like coach and lifter, but it's very team oriented over here. So I just wanted to give that
for the
input there from this perspective.
from the last part, I'll just say this: like it's individual in terms of you see an individual completing the task, but it takes a team to get that
Yeah,
task complete.
yeah,
I think
perfectly
that was
said. Yeah.
great. Russ, how was it not competing for once? Like just getting to just watch.
That shit was fun. I ain't gonna lie. Like I enjoyed. I didn't get FOMO. I was more so like looking who's gonna rise to the occasion. Uh, and I was looking at it almost in a selfish way. It was like it's like a twofold thing. Like I wanted to be there and support the 83s because I knew that I wasn't gonna ever return to nationals as an 83. So I was like, the first time I competed as an 83 at nationals, John Hack was there when he knew that he would never compete again in the USAPL or the IPF umbrella as an 83. And like I'll never forget, like John was a mark that I wanted to hit whenever I first started powerlifting. So to first of all meet him for the first time in person in Atlanta, Georgia. Funny, oh no, it was Orlando. Sorry, Orlando. Funny enough, like I'm doing my squat and he's front row, like in my face, like. watching me, looking me in my eyes as I'm doing my at the time was a world record squat. And I was like, damn, man. And I had spoken to Joe in the DMs and it was really he was like, yo, it would mean a lot if you're like physically there. Like if you're not gonna compete, it would mean a lot that you're physically there. So I was like, I need to like make sure that I'm there. Um oh, I'm so good, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
so when when I went, I didn't really feel like I wasn't like, fuck, I wish I was competing. I was like, hey, bro, this was too close of a turnaround time for me to make anything of it. So I'm just gonna watch here and watch y'all compete. And it was cool because like I didn't have to worry about no weight cuts. I didn't worry about no food, no sauna, no nothing. I'm just pulling up watching these motherfuckers compete. And after they finished, I was like, cool, like 900 is a new mark. And then now I'm motivated more than ever as I'm back home training. So
I was
I
just
I
thinking
love
about
I love watching this.
very good, very good. Um, I was just thinking about there was a narrative about top level lifters need to get used to competing frequently. That was going around a little while ago, and when I think about that, I'm just like,
Doesn't work like that.
I mean, if you want
I
to
mean,
put
I
out,
can't.
if you want to put
Shout
out,
out to Meg though. Shit, like
yeah, I mean, well,
shit. I
girls
don't
are
know
a
how
little
she.
different.
Yeah, uh,
I think for guys, we just get so bunched up into exerting something in one moment, and then we just kind of need a minute to like reset. Where girls are just more. I had Alba compete like 50,000 times like four or five times last year, and we just got better each one because it was like we had to plan for a bigger one, and we were just kind of hitting these checkpoints as we went. But girls, I mean, it's harder to break them. They're dealing with a little bit less weight. They're resistant to fatigue in ways that guys aren't. Um, and you could do like things like that. But it was just very interesting.
So what do you say to what do you say to the people that are like it's so funny how they try to frame things, like the people that say like maybe coaches need to start changing the way that they program or the way that they navigate training so that lifters can compete more frequently or whatever the case may be. What do you say to stuff
I
like
would
that?
say that the Federation and like Sheffield and all the big meets are literally gonna space out so that we don't have to do that. And I'm not gonna take a lifter like a Jesus and be like, I'm gonna need you to get under 1,000 pounds, twice in this amount of time and put him in spotters. I'm just not gonna do that. So it's like I think Keiko was very mature saying, we just did Sheffield. It's like, gotta get right back to it for Nats. He was like, I'm literally gonna give up my world spot and take care of myself because I'm not gonna go out there and be fucking broken and lose like that when I literally just put everything into a meet. And
But you got to answer it though. You got to answer the question.
I
You
said
got to
no. I said my answer would be no. I'm not gonna change what I'm doing. I will prioritize the things that are most important to me and my lifter for the year, and that's it. And that could be like a hard line in the sand. Like I'm not gonna do that.
yo,
So
bro, what did we talk about at Worlds? Like when I lost at Worlds, I was like, and we started laying out the schedule for
I'm never doing
2025.
that back-to-back shit again.
Yeah, I said I'm never doing that shit again. But then I also said I was like, I'm only two. I had three meets available to me. I had Sheffield, nationals, and then potentially World Games or Worlds. Right, that's four. I looked at it. I was like, hey, I'm only hitting
You can only do
two of
two
them
of
hoes,
those. Yeah.
and it
Spread
got
it
to be
out.
spaced out.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm competing at the beginning of the year. I'm doing Sheffield, and whatever happens from there, I'm choosing whichever meet that's furthest away to gives me time to like kind of like recalibrate and actually get better, and then build up and then start competing. I just can't physically too. I just can't do it, bro. Like
Yeah,
I'm
also you
just now feeling
look at
good again.
like what John Keiko was able to do taking the time to fix things, right? And
Yeah.
if I'm being honest, do you remember that one time you took a big break and I was like a little worried because it was like you weren't even lifting.
What was it? You keep saying that.
Man, this was like
Oh, okay.
2019. Was it COVID?
what was it like 6 weeks? Like
Yeah,
His first day
it
back, it
was.
was like three reds and a yellow. It didn't look that
Yeah,
good.
I remember. Oh shit. Okay. Yeah. I
But
did.
that's okay.
I don't know
That
what I was doing. Yeah.
the body, like the amount of future investment you're doing when you do that, sometimes is worth it. You have to pick and choose when you do that. Um, what did we say immediately after Sheffield? You were like, I got these little knickknacks. I need to be doing some mobility stuff. And the program is also gonna be very easy. Get work on with Andy. Take
Yep.
care of yourself like an athlete. Take care of
Yeah.
yourself like an athlete. Get the
Mm.
massages. Have a guy come work on you. Do all of those things so that we can stay in the mix. You know what I mean? And it's not everybody has the ability to do that, but you can do the best that you can. And I think people will be surprised um, how much that stuff does make a difference. Let me see, Chris. Is there anything it's been like 50 minutes. Is there anything you want us to touch on before I go into the questions? Because I don't want to take up too much of Russ's time.
Oh, it was just that one that I want the people to hear you explain it. Like, I don't even remember exactly what I was asking. It was about the flex training systems way, but
Oh, yeah.
hearing you explain, how would you
You know, it's
explain
very interesting. I don't
our
really,
style of coaching?
I don't really know. You're talking about meet day? I don't really know of.
Or no, like in general, in like guiding an athlete, like literally coaching
Yeah,
them,
I got you. Getting
getting
to
them
know.
stronger, guiding them through
I'm
training,
not
all
just
that, the
getting
whole
like if I
process.
know what's going on with the person and I understand what they're kind of going through and they feel that, I they're going to be more comfortable giving me the information that I need to be able to help them get to where they want to go, and I'm going to be able to help them and assist them in a way that if I'm just getting information on a piece of paper and then I have to look at the piece of paper and go, well, based on this piece of paper, we should do these actions. It's just not the same. You know what I mean? Like I felt that when I was giving Russ his training coming into Sheffield, he felt that this is the treasure map to get to the One Piece. And if I follow this treasure map, I will get to where I want to go. And that comes from experience together, that comes from respect that we build, that's trust. That is more powerful than I could give you a piece of paper that is the right answer, right? I could give you a piece of paper that's literally like the answer to the test, but if you don't fucking believe in it or are enthusiastic about it, man, what are we even doing? You know what I mean? So I would say that we're just kind of passionate about what we're doing, and I want people to understand that you got to believe in your team, you got to believe in your coach, you got to believe in your process. You have to actually want the thing that you're working for. And I think sometimes people will kind of go through things and they're realizing as they're going through it, especially if they're like, maybe like in a lower level or they're just kind of starting out or they got into it because somebody's making them do it or they don't really want to do it. They might be pretty good at it, but, and Russ, you remember Ryan Doris?
Yeah. Yeah.
Way back, bodybuilder homie. He said this shit like 10 years ago, maybe more, and I still remember it. I know you heard it from some philosopher dude, but I don't remember who it was. If you try to fake that you're passionate about something, and if through me, I could let this live on through the generations, right? Because this is an old ass thing that I haven't really heard. If you try to fake passion and you run into a team or somebody that's truly passionate, you're gonna get beat. You're gonna get like super beat, and you're gonna realize what like what does Khabib say? There's levels, brother. There's levels. Now, obviously, I would say powerlifting is a very like your genetics matter, and there's gonna be lifters that give 90% and they beat somebody else's 100%, and that's a tough pill to swallow. But I do think that the sport is getting competitive enough where on an 8 for 9 day, Ade might get Russ, and he might go for it. You know what I mean? And that's up to us to execute. You know, and that's the thing about the door opened for Demetrius to get second because what I said was going to happen is going to happen. Keiko or Gavin is going to put up a big number, and everybody else is going to go after that, and people are going to fall off trying to hit it, and that's going to create a window where somebody who was not in the conversation can sneak in. And that's how you that's why like if you're like, "Oh, I'm third place, I'll never get first." Bro, try. You don't know. Kelly beat Taylor. Callie beat Taylor. Head up. You're muted, Chris. All right, go. All right, we back. We back. Go ahead.
Oh, no, it's just like one of my biggest this irks me so much with like just I want to say this kindly, and I want to remain professional.
You fucking say, man.
I could not disagree further from the type of mindset like there's a level of like mental strength that is needed when you are pursuing your best at something and working to be great. I ask individuals, how can you dare to be great if you always predetermine the outcome based off of surface level of what you see in terms of the challenge? So, for instance, if you have nominations and someone has X amount more on a total larger than you don't know how much they progressed from that last meet. You might have progressed even greater than them. You might have caught them. Why are you going to already predetermine in your head, I'm only good for third place at best? Or like there's like when Joe went into Worlds, oh, did you and Callie, like did you and Carl come into Worlds and like, oh, we're just gonna try to get fifth place? Did you
Fuck
guys go in and
no.
say, what was your guys'
I've
mindset
never
like?
I've
What was
never
your guys' mindset like? We're winning this, or like, or was your mindset like we're gonna go,
it's
we're gonna do our absolute best, and if there's an opportunity, we're gonna take it.
it's
You
funny
know,
because I tend to visualize the scenario that we want to happen the most, and I go, okay, if we want this thing to happen, how does it have to play, right? How does it have to go? So I said, okay, Taylor's gonna be the front runner. If he goes 9 for 9, we're just gonna go 9 for 9 and see what we get. Callie's deadlift is looking really, really good. And then as the day was going and he missed a squat, I was like, okay, let's just keep going. Make some benches, hit some deadlifts. Then he missed the third deadlift, and I was like, I remember texting the Swedish team because I was still fucking banned. Go for the wind, and they're like, yeah.
yeah,
Boom!
Yeah.
And he hit it.
and it,
And he hit it, and you just gotta. That was such an eruption of a moment because it was not like if you look at like think of the UFCs where it's like the girl is like minus plus 3,000 and she wins somehow. Holy shit, right? Um, that brings me to what I was thinking. Russ, did you for the 93s? Did it play out kind of how you thought it was gonna play out, or were you surprised by anything?
No, I played out how I thought it was gonna play out. I mean, like it. We know Kaiko is. I mean, he's like Mr. 9 for 9. He's not gonna miss.
Yeah.
He's gonna execute on the day. Like whatever he has on the day, he's gonna execute. And it really just came down to like if someone was just gonna like pull for the win, which I just didn't see it happening with the people that were competing. I was like, I don't see anyone that's gonna like, fucking snipe 920. You know what I'm saying? Like
Now, if we
that's where
fucking
we.
miss that, we're cooked. If
Yeah,
we
now
miss
now it's
anything,
like.
anything.
Yeah, now if you're sitting around like 900, then obviously anything could happen. But I was like, that's not like Keiko is better than 900, and he's going to perform better at 900. Like he's gonna be 920 ish.
Yeah.
He's gonna hit his lifts. Like when he misses shit, it's just like it's a little weird. It's uncharacteristic right there. But if everyone performed the way they were supposed to perform, I thought that's exactly what was gonna happen. Um,
When he was getting
I
reds
did
on
think
squat,
that,
I was like,
huh?
he got one red on one side every squat, and I was like,
Like I thought I honestly thought that it's Demetrius, right?
yeah.
Yeah, I thought he was gonna get third, to be honest. But honestly, the day before, no disrespect to him, when I saw him there like all night until when I went to the hotel, I was like, oh no, he's not gonna place. I was like, there's no way. Like I just
Yeah.
know like as a lifter, I know when you do stuff like that, it's not it don't work like that, dog. Like you can't be on your feet all day the day prior and perform the next day. Like it just don't happen like that. So when I saw him, I was like, nah, that's fourth or fifth right there. No disrespect, but
I
like
think
it's
about
just
that,
basically just can't do it.
and the reason that happens, I think, because even if you're physically there and you're not doing anything, you're just watching, if you give half a shit about the sport, things are gonna happen that are gonna make your adrenaline might get fired up, and like you're also deloaded. So like as men, like our testosterone's gonna be up, right? So like things that are happening that are intense, we're gonna have a response to that. And that's why me personally, when I competed, I try to like watch a movie or something or play video games and just like I'm out. Like I'm not even here. I'm thinking about other shit. I can't let that. Don't want to start visualizing too soon because now you're living in that moment. You're thinking about all the shit that you want. As a coach, I could do it because like sometimes I do it, sometimes I don't want to because like I'm not. My nerves come from I call the number. It's the heavy third. I can't lift it. I know you can lift it, but I don't know. With you guys, with Russ's and the Keikos and the Jesuses, it's a little different because you guys have been with me for so many years and you trust me, right? But with the newer lifters, I know the math in my head that's like that number can be lifted. He can do that
Mm.
number. Do you remember when you failed your first like 700 squat? It was like six. It was at 2018 Nationals. You missed a third squat. You could fucking do that lift.
Yeah,
You can do
yeah.
that lift. And then I
I
said,
heard
you felt it now, and now you know what it
yeah,
feels like.
there's the coach. I was like, that was a good call. That was a good call. Da, da, da. And I was like, yeah, I just think that like there's just like this because I've done it. Like I'll never forget the Arnold 2018 Arnold.
Oh, that's
I
my
was
worst meet ever.
that was my worst meet ever.
That's our worst meet.
I
You
like
and Mikey.
literally was walking around and hanging out behind the scenes and at the meet all fucking day. And I went home and I'm like, yeah, this is in the back. Like I had just come off of my first nationals. I'm like, I'm finna body this shit. I had nothing for me. I mean, I had nothing, nothing. I was cooked. So when I saw two lifters, I saw Jamar. Jamar had just come in, and then I saw Demetrius. I was like, uh, we're at prime time for the 83s, and y'all still here. I was like, man, good luck. Shit, y'all shit. I was like, good luck tomorrow, fam. So
So
Yeah.
what do you guys say? What do you guys say to the individuals that say that's not a factor? There's people that's like, oh, I should be able to be on my feet all day, or I should be
who
able to
says?
walk.
Genuinely, is anyone saying that though?
There's kids.
There, there's
According to Chris.
young kids that
For real, they think that?
It's not how
that
it
like
works.
I should be able to spectate, watch, be out, and go perform tomorrow.
If I'm playing in the Super Bowl, I'm not talking to no. If you have a UFC fight,
Bro, what?
you're going to get beat up by another guy that wants to end you. You need to go to fuck to sleep and be
The only
ready.
time where you can do some shit like that is if you are the most gifted athlete in your
Yeah.
class and there's no one that's near you. That's the only
I'll
where shit
say
like work out. And even if you do that, you're not going to be performing at your personal best.
I'll say this. Uh, consistently now, I have seen coaches that like maybe they're just doing this because they just want to compete as well with their athletes and then also handle, which is not. I know Joe, you've done it in the past.
I don't
I think you
recommend
got
it.
to do it.
I did it
I
because
think
I
you
was
got
a
to do.
coach first, lifter second. I didn't do it because if I
Yeah,
wanted to have a good
I,
meet, then I wouldn't do that.
right. I think you got to do it a certain way, and even then, I don't recommend it. But like, not seeing these coaches have good meets, and it's just it's not consistently not seeing. You just kind of see it's whatever the coaches post or people that are aspiring coaches is like they try to compete and then handle athletes. They have like really bad meets. It's always some reason. It's always some reason. It's just like that's why I don't do that. I don't. If I compete, I try to do it in a time where it's like all my lifters are good for the year, and like nothing's going on. Everyone's building, then I'll compete. But other than that, the whole rest of the year, it's lifters first, and I'm coaching. So I just say all that to say like again, most of my juniors, they're great. They don't say this, but there's some that just be like one or two that just think that
Are you saying
should be able to be highly active and do whatever and still show up and perform at a high level. And I'm just like, well, if that's the case, then why isn't it happening? Like you don't see that commonly
you
happening.
could perform at a decent level, but if you're in a razor thin high level meet and you need like every little tiny thing.
Need to
I
be
thought Gavin was in the Titan singlet because he wanted to have the biggest squat. That's what I because he wasn't in SBD and I was like, oh, he wants to squat big today, right? Because the Titan singlet is a little, it's a little tight. You know what I mean? It's like it could. I think it's just like that security mentally maybe gives you like a little tiny bit in the bottom or something. Um, but when I saw him in that, I was like, oh, he's really coming out. And to be fair, when Pichu went out for that pole, I was like, if he gets it, he gets it, And those are the situations where, and this is the thing with Jonathan Garcia. We had to go first. If we don't, and this is why lot numbers and that is so important. If you don't get to go last, maybe that guy, because he was hitting a PR on that third. He's never hit that weight before. Maybe he did in the gym, just didn't post it. But let's say he never hit it before. Maybe they do 2 keys less. Or maybe we could try 2 keys more. It is, and it's just how the cards fall. And it can go either way, but to the public and how it's perceived, it is it doesn't look the gap looks huge because one person is gonna miss or you know what I'm saying, but there's just so much more like when you actually are in the mix and you understand that like those guys were equal strength, but that guy's lot number let him go last. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes you get screwed over by that. But I mean, yeah, it was it was a good nationals. I think the 83s and the 93s like by far were the super competitive. I did want to say the 69 women, I believe. Chris, I think it's 69. Gabby and Celine, that was pretty close to the end. And then knowing Celine's story and everything that she went through, how she lost it, then she got the invite, but it wasn't a real invite, and then she didn't get to go, and how the emotions, that was really sick. So it'll be cool to see them um,
yeah.
be here in Germany. But um, I mean, this is what the sport needs, and we need those super close matchups. All right, we've been here a bit, so I'm gonna start going through the questions. These questions are just gonna be for any of us and very random. Starting out with Russ. First question is is uh the GBT brand or some variation of that, maybe a new type of brand, ever gonna come back? Are you gonna get into starting something like that ever again? If so, do you have a ballpark about when?
Yeah, for sure. Like 100%. That's without question. Time wise, I'll keep that to myself just because I'm one of those people that I don't like talking about things that I'm not actively doing. It's more so just like I'll show you guys when I'm finished, but it's definitely 100% going to make a comeback. And I needed some time to just breathe a little bit, during this whole process of me, doing nationals and then losing worlds and all that kind of stuff and a lot of personal things that happened as well. I just kind of fell into not like a I just fell into like a confused state of like, bro, like I don't know what I'm doing. Like I lost my gym, lost a lot of personal relationships, lost the brand and all that kind of stuff. I didn't lose the brand, but I just stopped doing the brand. And I just wanted to recenter myself. I really wanted to spend time loving what I did once again. And I started doing this content creation shit when in 2016, 2017, and I kind of got away from lifting being my one true love. Like that's something that'll always be there for me. That's something that I always give my respects to. And I just wanted to have a year or so of me just like enjoying the process of getting better. Because if I'm not focusing, like if I start focusing on the clothes and shit, and like just doing the photo shoots, like making stuff all over again, I'm not focusing on lifting it anymore. And if I'm not focusing on lifting, like these guys are good enough to beat me now. So it's like I'd much rather re-emphasize my love for lifting and then bring the brand back instead of like bringing the brand back immediately and then like still continuing that toxic cycle of not paying attention to the things that I personally love.
Very good, very good. Um, what are your, I don't know who this question is for. Yeah. What are your top challenges right now, mentally and physically? I want to say for Russ, but I guess we could all answer it.
We can definitely answer that shit.
Yeah. What are your top
Lottie, you
challenges
can
right now? Yeah.
go.
What are my top challenges right now, mentally and physically?
Yeah.
Um, I think when we come back from these big meets, a lot of my people always tell me like, I don't know how you do it, coach. And it's like you're like I've done a lot of Arnold's and nationals with like no sleep, and we've won championships with that. I always joke with my athletes and I'll be like, "Oh, you like coach has 2 hours of sleep today. You got a good one. Like this is gonna be a good day." Um, I think it's just no, I allow myself to sleep when the work is done. I always make sure I get my sleep, but in terms of just the physical aspect, it's just like with all the duties that we have and just making sure everything's handled, just making sure that that's taken care of. Um, be having more responsibilities on my plate, so it's just, I mean, everything's fine. I mean, we go nonstop. I don't think Joe has had a, I don't think Joe has had a day off in over like a decade, and it just comes from like you just doing what you love. Um, and so yeah, mentally, and you know what? Actually, like it's weird. Like I actually want to talk about this. Like seeing our team achieve such great things every single year for so long. Now it's just like that's expected. And it's like if you don't get first, and it's just like like I'm in group chats of people that are not from the team, who are friends and stuff, and they'll just be like, wow, you didn't win? Oh, second place, third place, just some athletes. No, we still had we had like what, four first place finishes at nationals. It's just like, I guess professionally taking that in and handling that because I think, I've seen you guys and us. It's tough. Like I've seen you guys, like you guys be like you two, for instance, be at the top for 6 years straight. You guys held like the heaviest 83 kg total for 6 years straight. And even that one year where you went to Korea and posted heaviest 93 kg total at 90 keys. And then that one so you reign for 6 years and then one year you lose, and it's like mentally, I guess, absorbing that. We're very tough. We deal with a lot of stuff. But it's I guess it's just like I'm saying all this to say finishing Nats, and when I look at the stats that we put up, entire team out of 42 athletes or 41, 42 athletes, we had 90.5% hit rate on attempt selection. If you do the math on that, that means that our whole team was good for 8.5 out of 9 attempts amongst like five, six, seven to some coaches.
I'm
Oh,
not
you
a
want to say
safe.
something?
I'm not like a. I'll take shots, right? So like with Delaney, I took a shot. I'm not like one of the. I'm not afraid to like call a miss.
Yeah, calculated shots.
Yeah. No, I mean, but for that we had to be a little aggressive because look what we're going against, right?
And crazy about it, yeah. No,
And
I'm just saying that.
but I'm just saying that like if I just wanted to make attempts, I would just make attempts. I would have gone two
Oh
on
yeah, no,
Prentice bench.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
those stats are present with us being in huge battles and having to take risky shots to win. But I'm just saying that looking back at the performance that our team as a whole, with all of our athletes, all of our coaches, everyone together, right? 90.5 percentile with the whole team. And I looked at like I think we had one 6 for 9. We had over 35% of the team was 9 for 9. Over 30. So that's over a third. And we had another huge chunk that was over a third that was 8 for 9. And then the smaller chunk was all 7 for 9. It was the smallest percentage, 7 for 9. And that's divvied up amongst all the coaches. When you look at that, and then I think we podiumed every single night. Then we had 4 champions. Because the question was asking how you dealing with all this mentally, physically, all that, right? On the mental side, it's like get that high rush from that week. I think because we do it as a team every year so often, I'm saying this as sincerely as I can for the viewers understand like what it is that we are experiencing. Um, I'm trying to I'm trying to appreciate what we do with how hard because it's constant hard work. Like our families and everything, sometimes they allow themselves to be put second. We could put our teams first. And it's really tough because you want to spend time with your families and have more work-life balance. We have such a passionate for this time that we're in to be great. It's like we do all this work and you achieve amazing things that respectfully, objectively, statistically has not been done. You're just trying to like take it in and appreciate it, but it's almost as if I don't know, like I don't know I could put my finger on what is not allowing us to fully appreciate it. I think it's always because like what's next now? Junior nationals. What's after that? Open worlds. After that, world games. What's after that? Junior
Yeah,
worlds.
we don't
What's
really
after
have
that?
a
Sheffield's
chance to
coming up.
like after like the gap between whatever and Sheffield, that's really the time when like I get a little bit of breathing room, but I was in January 26 for those 7 months. It's 8 months.
Yeah.
My mind was in that day. I wasn't I would feel guilty doing anything for myself if my stuff for that day wasn't done first. And
Yeah.
that's
So
just how it's always been. Yeah.
so I guess it's just physically getting sleep, mentally I think like we're still learning how to compartmentalize. I am at least like because it's like you work so hard and you're successful for them. Like we had an incredible week. We had a historical week. Numbers wise, we had an historical week. It's like I don't know. I don't even. It's just like I just feel that it should. I wish we had ESPN because it has to be highlighted. It has
Yeah.
to be highlighted. The things that are being done. It's
I
it's very
posted the
special. It's
stats.
yeah, and it's just
I
like
posted it.
I don't know, but I want to be able to be in the moment. I usually do a good job of it, but I just want to be able to be in the moment, appreciate more.
So you struggle with
I
that. That's
guess
the
I'm just
thing that you
working to
struggle with.
find balance a little more. But in the end, I still wake up every single day like incredibly passionate and juiced and ready to go, and I'm just excited with the team I work with. So I guess it would just be those things: sleep,
Russ,
and
mentally and
we're working to
physically,
be in the moment with that.
what are your challenges right now?
Kind of hard to answer that question because I feel like all the mental and physical stuff that I was dealing with. I mean that would have been a great question to answer like maybe a couple months ago
Yeah.
or last year.
He's locked in right now.
But yeah, what just happened? Got switched out. Okay. Uh, man, I'm like in a very. This is the happiest I've been in about like 5 years, bro. What it's 2025. That's probably the happiest I've been in like 6 years, bro. To be honest with you, like I feel like I've mastered for like what I've gotten to in my life now. I mastered like what I'm dealing with mentally, physically. I feel, and I was actually gonna send Joey a voice note about this. I love having the set ranges, man. Like I have like a distinct marker that I have for every single session that I go into, and it allows me to like keep track of progress and like mentally make notes about my training. So physically, I think the only thing that I'm dealing with is just like staying healthy, but like I don't have an issue staying healthy. I get work done bi-weekly. Um just kind of like bring out the knots that could potentially make injuries. And then mentally wise, I have truly accepted that there is no positive and negative. There's only like the experience, and you could utilize every experience to your benefit. So I think if I could say something mentally, it would just be like stop outing yourself in regards to how great you can be, live and live out your full potential. I feel like sometimes I go to bed thinking that like I could have squeezed more juice out of the orange. But that's only because I know my potential. And sometimes I feel like I don't hit that marker. But physically, I'm fine. Mentally, I feel like I'm in a great space too.
There's, I lost my thought, but there was something that you just touched on. I'm sure it'll come to me, but it's very good. For me, what am I physically, mentally? Physically, just trying to chip away at my goals and making sure that each week I'm doing a little by little to get there, whether that be getting stronger, losing a little bit of weight, just keep moving in that direction. Um, things have been pretty good recently, so I just want to keep that going. But I have to stay away from the habits because my mind is very tough it out, keep pushing, but that's not how I need to be, especially at this age. Um, mentally, I'm pretty accepting. It's very weird, and Russ, you could maybe let me know if you feel this. I think Cristo has the chip on his shoulder and he still wants to prove shit, but if we look at powerlifting before and after what all the things that we've done in the space and how things have changed and how trends have become trends and how people do things, um, I'm not saying I'm responsible for everything, or you might not say that you are, but you have certainly made your mark. I feel that I've certainly made my mark. We've certainly came into the sport, we've done things, and I remember when it wasn't okay to use RPE, and I had to deal with so many people like fighting me, and I know Mike T was preaching it before. I think I do mine a little different than he does, and I've talked to him about this, but now kids just that's just like it's a thing, right? It's like a super thing. There's just like
Yeah,
a lot of things. Like the weight cuts are like streamlined. Just the way that people do things is everything is out there. Even like me working like with a Noriega for 5 years, and then him being someone that likes to express things and share things and his own experiences, and then him going on and taking, you know, bits and pieces of our experiences plus his own and putting things out. Like the trickle down of like the amount of people that have worked with Flexx. That one of the coaches for the UK worked with Mikey for years, right? And just thinking about the impact that the team has made. Um, I don't want to say any names, but when I was at Sheffield, there was a lifter there. I can't be specific because it's very sensitive, but um, she told me that somebody close to her said that he wanted to do what I was doing. He wanted to do that, but for his country and where he was at in his smaller community. And the things like that, it makes me walk when we go to the gym and kids want to take a picture with you, right? When you're in a coffee shop, post it up, and somebody comes up to you and wants to take a picture. Bro, I went to a fucking One Piece thing on Saturday in Pasadena real quick, and these two kids recognized me from powerlifting, and
yeah,
they made a thing, and my homies that were with me were like, Joey, why are they trying to take a picture with you like that? Because they don't know, right? I lived like two
yeah,
lives, and I was like, the shit that we've done, like I have like this sort of like this peace or this sort of not content. It's not contentness. It's a I am okay with everything if it all ended tomorrow. If we got locked down again and the major powers of the world started pointing big weapons at each other, I will be like, "Hey man, we did amazing shit. We
yeah,
went all over the world. We met all different types of people. Dog, we were in Korea. I didn't know no fucking Korean language, nothing. And I got to explore and do all that with my boy. Like this, what is this life? Like what is I never thought that it would go this far, and I just kind of I understand like Chris when we lived in the North Hollywood house and I didn't have $1.25 to get on the bus to get to my job in Beverly Hills, but I would just get on the bus anyway because sometimes they don't check. To deal with what we deal with now, it's like I'm just fucking thankful, man. And for me, it's I've gone through some tough shit behind the scenes, like surgeries and shit. And when you're laying in that hospital bed and you can't fucking do anything, you can't move, but there's people that need you and that gives you the courage to keep going and to keep fighting and to have purpose. As a man to have purpose, um, I mean, I think you could get through anything. I don't have kids, but I would imagine having a little person that like counts on you. I think we could get through anything, and to that type of stuff mentally gives me this sort of I mean, I went into nationals and I was like, hey man, I'm gonna do my job, I'm gonna do it well, and whatever happens happens, and I'm gonna be at peace with it. And then you know what I'm gonna do after that? I'm gonna start worrying about worlds, because before that meet even started, I already had like 13 people that were doing worlds, right? So I gotta
Yeah.
go think about
I,
that. It's like you just like you said it, Russ. You said it's just about the experience. It's not good or bad. It's just the thing. It's just the
Yeah.
thing happened. The thing.
Joe,
Go ahead.
um, just to touch on something because I want to make sure I speak for myself. When you mentioned the chip on the shoulder thing, you're pretty much explaining for the viewers out there. You're explaining like I have traveled the world, done things for like a decade in terms of like 18 world titles, countless. I don't even know how many national titles you've been able to achieve with your people. You've won Sheffield. You've got multiple podiums at Sheffield. All the battles you guys have avenged, all these things, right? You and Russ, you guys are established in those regards. You have years of those amazing moments that are in powerlifting history forever. As for myself, I think that I don't have that open world title yet. So that chip comes from the competitor in me. I know what a junior world championship feels like. I've won the national title as a coach before. Um, junior national titles, things of that nature. But that open world title is so hard. It is so hard. When athletes talk about like, oh, like they'll always be like the top level athletes, some of them will say like it'll be next year or whatever the case may be. And I'm like, today's day, they're you could think that if you're a 93, you could think there's next year.
We
And then
got Nonsos and Joe Bornstein's popping up left and right.
four random 18-year-olds come out of nowhere as a 93 and are good for 900 plus keys, and you're cooked. There will never be another next year. So it's like, it has never been this highly competitive before, and it's only going to continue to get more competitive. And so I just say for the viewers to understand, I come from a football background. So, like, I still feel like I have some tidbits of a player within my mentality, that hunger as a coach. And I work to give that to my people. And I just want to say the whole chip on the shoulder thing, it comes from a good place. It's the desire to achieve something that is probably the hardest thing to do in the sport, which is to win a world title. For y'all have done it multiple times. And Russ, you've been there 4 times. Joe, you have 18 world titles. So it's like, of
They told
course,
me
you
that.
don't have to prove anything.
I don't even know that.
I always remind him because he doesn't pay attention to stats, those stats. He just does the work and stacks them up. But it's just like um, where you guys are at as a coach and a lifter, it's what everyone is working for. Everyone
Yeah.
on the highest level are working for that. They have chips on their shoulder too, whether they want to admit it or not. Not necessarily a bad thing. It's something that gives you a drive. Um, yeah, I get what you're saying, Joe, in terms of like the whole mental part of the question. You're saying that you're good. I've done what I'm still doing it. Everything here is just extra credit now. And you want to help people's lives. I think a lot of that, I see a lot what both of you and Russ do is like at this point now, like you guys have achieved so much and now everything's extra credit and you're doing it just because you love it. And you also get to see that you get to help other people. But yeah, I wanted to expand on those details just because I think I
Yeah.
don't want those
And
to slip through the cracks.
I'll just piggyback off of what Joey was saying earlier, and what we both kind of said. It's like I now have the ability to have balance. Like, I feel like before when I was younger, it can like that chip consumed me in my daily life to where like I'm thinking about shit as like I'm scrolling and looking at people lift like as I'm chilling at home, and it's like affecting just my mood throughout the day and all that kind of stuff. But now I feel so secure in my accomplishments in the sport, and just like I really came into the sport to just kind of like encourage people to try the sport as well, while also chasing my own personal greatness. And I've kind of done that, and it's weird to say, because I'm still doing it, but it's like, no, when I reflect back and like I go to different gyms or in public or whatever, like people are telling me, hey man, like it's a constant reminder. It's like, yo, you accomplished your goal. It's like, hey, I watched your channel, you got me into powerlifting, thank you so much. I'm like, oh shit. I heard that multiple times this week. I achieved what I initially set out to do. Now I have the freedom of just kind of doing whatever, if that makes sense. Like I don't necessarily I have a chip when I want to have the chip. There we go. I use the chip to my benefit. But then also too, I could step like we'll talk about it when we get off the pod. I'm going to Mexico for the weekend, bro. Like, not that like I'm not gonna train hard, but it's just
What week
like
is this? What week is this?
it's closing out week 3. But
Alright, week three. I
closing
mean,
out
you
week
be
3.
bulked up for week 4.
Yeah, yeah. We'll talk about it after, but it's like it's just more so of just like having that balance. Like whenever you do, I guess achieve whatever goal that you have the freedom to now manipulate different things to your benefit. So now it's like I still shit, body. You see me, you see how I train. I have a motherfucking chip on my shoulder, and I can't get it off of me. I texted Joey some shit the other day, sent him some DMs. I was like, hey,
It's okay to have a chip on your shoulder. It's not a bad thing. If you know how to use it right and like use it for to fuel you and help you produce as best as you can, it's not a bad thing.
I think
I'll
Russ.
say this:
Oh, go ahead.
great athletes know how to create chips. I might be just creating shit out of my mind. I create a chip every single day. The chip is different every day. Like sometimes it's not even a chip. It's more so just like, hey, bro, you did what you said you was gonna do. Now, like this workout is gratitude. This is a celebration. So go dummy. Or like when did I go in like that? Today I came in like that with that attitude. I think Monday, maybe Monday I was on some bullshit. Monday I was like, these motherfuckers really think that like they like that. Or they really think that like I'm done. Or they really think I can't compete at this level no more. I but that like it just changes depending on how I wanna,
What's
manipulate it.
cool though, also about your position is
Look
like,
at that Joe side eye
and at 93s,
over here, like
dude, at 93, like we're just doing our thing.
Yeah, you
Whatever
saw what
happens,
I sent
happen.
you today.
Whatever happens, happens. So,
You saw
um,
what I sent you today.
shit, yeah, that was. Did you post it yet?
Nah,
All
ain't
right, all
posted
right,
yet.
all right. Save that one. Save that one. Let me
I'm
see.
not
Let
even
me
gonna
see.
post it, man. It don't
chill, chill,
even.
chill,
No,
chill, chill,
oh,
chill.
shit. I mean, I'll post it.
Yeah, you can post it. I'm not. It's not gonna be like a main content thing for me.
Oh, really?
Nah, that was a chill workout. It was a good workout, but
I might
like,
test it out on
trust,
TikTok.
bro.
Fuck it.
The next like 5 or so weeks,
Talk.
there's
We'll talk. We'll talk.
sauce. Yeah, we'll talk. We'll
Let me
talk.
see. Let me see. All right. What do you guys think about the knee sleeve thing?
I'll go first. I don't give a fuck. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I think we need more things happening in powerlifting so people don't fucking hyper fixate on something for a whole day. That shit was so lame, but I get it. I mean, some people had the knee sleeves and they got banned and now they got to move on to something different. I mean, boo-hoo. You know what I'm saying? I didn't even like them when them hoes came out in the
I
first
always
place. I
wore
thought they,
big ass knee sleeves anyway. I didn't ever.
yeah, I thought, and when they initially came out, I remember I wore them hoes. I corrupted. I said, how is this legal? Number one, like this feel like cheating. And I wore them for like a session or two. I just took them off. I'm like, I don't like this shit, bro. Like,
it's
no
super.
disrespect to Enzer or any of the stiff companies like that, but I just thought it was lame. And honestly, the only people that were using them were the people that like are not top level lifters. Like, because they thought that it was giving them something on their
Jesus,
squat.
Amanda, Sonita, and you all have world record squats, and all of you squat in SPDs. And like,
No one that no one no great lifter uses fucking stiff sleeves. I feel like the only people that use that shit are like juniors and like USPA lifters and shit. And like some random like lifters here and there. No top like whatever.
Yeah, so I have a lifter from Trinidad, a lifter from Vietnam, lifters from Europe, on and so forth that are outside. I mentioned that because I got the perspective of lifters who do not have that don't live in countries that have a valuable currency like ours, the same currency value,
mhm.
and they said that their side of it was pretty much like I spent a lot of money on these sleeves. That's for the federation to now say we can't use them no more after a certain date. Which I get that, but what I was working to explain to my athletes here on this project was like, I know it's unfortunate, but if that's what your gripe is, like you're I hate to tell you this, but like what can we do, right? Like the federation has made this a rule now. Your only best option now moving forward is to try to get your money back, maybe sell it to other athletes in different feds that can still use those knee sleeves. For the athletes here in the country that maybe money's not the issue, but it's more so of like they want to be able to use them, whatever. Like I actually posted on my story and I was trying to explain pretty much your sleeves don't make you as the athlete. You make the lifts. You are the one
I
that
was gonna
builds the
tell
body.
Jesus hit like a 920 without no sleeves on.
I even mentioned that strongest squats ever in the sport tested classic unequipped. It didn't use 700 fold compressed neoprene sleeves. It just used regular sleeves. That is a testament to building the body for fortifying, putting on muscle, having a foundational base to handle those loads. So hopefully the young lifters like equipment doesn't make us. Like now, granted, I have a lifter. I'm not gonna say your name. I make fun of her. I say you got old lady knees. She's my sister. We play around. She has a specific case where like the ends her knee sleeves. Sorry if you guys hear that freaking goddamn crows.
I don't hear nothing.
The ends her knee sleeves actually helped her for her like with her knee situation. She's in the she serves our country. She's in the military, and and that's like a specific case. But now that's banned. We had already talked to him like we have to fortify them knees. Like we have to figure it out now.
Yeah, take the knee
So
sleeves
yeah,
off
all
for a
this just
bit.
to say like nobody should be tripping out or crying or like money thing. That's one thing for people that live outside the country, but for people that money's not the issue, and you're just like, I was planning on being strong with these knee sleeves. Don't got to worry about that. Fortify your body, and you'll be fine.
Two more, and then we'll call it. First one is Russ. What are your goals for the World Games?
Uh
All out.
yeah, just ball out. Every people always ask me what's my goal for this meet, that meet. It's just win, like I don't know, win, do really, really well, do
Yeah.
hit my expectations.
My goal for you is to just take it in because it's like a placeholder weight class for now. Like absorb it, be there, and I know that you will be present, and then that's it. Enjoy the
Yeah,
trip.
like literally there's no like I stopped doing that because it kind of takes away from the moment. Like you
Yeah.
have to like kind of live every experience for what it is in the time. And it's like when you hold yourself to certain like yes, obviously hold yourself to certain standards, but at the same time too, like if you get married to something and it doesn't happen to you, the way that you'll like crash out and not appreciate the moment, you're gonna regret it in the future. So it's like, no, I wanna bro, I'm gonna be at the fucking World Games in the athlete village, like with other high with the world's greatest athletes, like not just powerlifting. This is something that I've been like Sheffield is something I've been dreaming about. World Games is another thing I've been dreaming about. As a powerlifter, I'm gonna be in the fucking athlete village
First
with
raw set of powerlifters ever in the history of Earth.
basketball players, fucking boxers, tennis players, like fucking dart throwers, or I don't even fucking like, bro, like, come on. That my goal is to soak it all in, to be honest with you, and compete at a high level that I know how to compete at.
Last one, one of the young guns. I'm assuming it's a young
Oh,
gun.
hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second. Russ, you're telling me you're going to World Games and your goals for World Games is not even numbers driven? No, no,
Mm,
listen. That's okay. I'm just trying to get your. That's okay. What I'm
yeah.
insinuating is I'm being sarcastic. I'm
Oh,
pretty. I,
oh, okay. I was like, let me answer. I mean, like, is he?
I,
So
Nah, who
no,
cares?
I'm pretty much
obviously,
saying like your answer was great. Like you're pretty much saying like I'm gonna go to do my best. I'm appreciating the fact I'm gonna be at World Games amongst prestigious things that are taking place, right?
yeah.
But notice, I'm just the viewers. I'm saying, notice how he didn't say, "I want
Oh,
to go here 917.5 total," and I want to go
yeah.
there.
No, no, no,
Like,
no, no. Like, what I'm gonna do is what I'm gonna do. Like, I'm working hard as fuck to make it happen. Like, I like whatever my top end is. That's what I'm shooting for.
you
Obviously,
obviously
like,
want to do your best to have a super me, but
yeah, exactly.
just
But
focus on the work to do that.
yeah, like I focus on the
Yeah.
work every single day. So overarching theme for World Games is once again, like, bro, I want to really take in the fact that I'm at fucking World Games. Like, what? Like, that's how you live in the present. And then also too, like, go. I know, like, we're extending this, but going back to the conversation of being in the present, I celebrate. Me going to Mexico this weekend is me celebrating Sheffield. It just kind of came a little bit later, but like I'm going to go celebrate Sheffield. Like I put a lot of work into that, and it went my way. So the way I'm gonna be present is I'm gonna go celebrate that, and that's gonna be a remembrance of what happened in January. Like that's how you stay present in the moment. Like obviously we have to still continue work for World Games, but I'm gonna take 2 to 3 days to just kind of relax a little bit and reflect on what I was able to accomplish. And being able to like still stay in the present, looking at World Games, it's like, hey, once again, bro, you've been dreaming about powerlifting being taken serious to a point where it's at the Olympic level, and this is pretty damn close. So I'm gonna go there and act like a fucking damn near Olympian. That's my mindset with this particular meet.
Last one. For the young people coming into powerlifting right now, he asks, how do you make a name for yourself in the powerlifting space?
Body, did you want to get to your I'm sorry, I get gassed out with
Yeah, you probably get asked that a lot.
no, I get gassed out with like just like
I have an
how do I
answer
stay
that's like not me. I don't know if it's mean, but it's like
be someone? How about do something? Like that's what
get
kind of question? You know what I'm
really
saying?
Yeah,
Like
good at something.
got
yeah,
it. I
like
got it. I got
Get
it.
really good at something.
I'm not trying to be mean to the person asking the question. This is more so of a frustration of which I'll expand on later after big body, but like
Yes. How do you make it in powerlifting as an athlete?
Let me see. No, 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 no. How do you make a name for yourself in powerlifting? Hold on. He said, how do I make a name for myself in powerlifting and in the community? So yeah,
Okay, so
be a good person, make good content, be a good
I
lifter,
I I I I believe that
have
I
passion.
don't think it's necessarily bad for you to go into something and say like, "Oh, I want to make a name for myself." But
I understand.
for that, I believe what's more important is you should be going into what it is that you want to make a name for. I don't even think I'm not thinking about like, "Oh, I want to make a name for myself as a coach or whatever." I have this knack inside that is I just want to achieve the hardest things on the hardest settings. That defines greatness to me. And even though knowing how many people are negative, they think it's impossible, it's improbable, I'm still gonna pursue that. And I've I've got to a point to where myself and the lifter were one deadlift away to where he had a shot of going to Sheffield. So I think about those moments where it's like that close, and I want to keep going for those moments. And I'm pretty much pursuing greatness, like studying your work, studying what it is that makes the great ones great, but also what it is about you. What are the tangible things that you have that makes yourself great? How do you improve that? How do you strengthen your weaknesses? And how do you set yourself apart from the rest in your community? How do you impact your community? How do you make a difference in your community and to the people that you influence and surround you, the people that you work with? If you could create value in showing what it is that does what it is that you do works and you're successful, and then you're able to maintain that success for a long period of time, that is how you, to answer your question directly, that's how you make a name for yourself.
I think that the goal should not be to make a name for yourself. The goal should be driven by your desire to be a good coach or lifter if you're speaking specifically about powerlifting, and all that
Yeah.
shit will come after. If your goal
Yeah.
is to make a name for yourself first, you're missing the fundamental drive that you're going to need in order to be, you know what I'm saying? Like you got to mix up. That's like saying, okay, how do this question reminds me of the guys that are like, how do I get a girlfriend, or how do I get girls, or whatever. And it's like, no, listen, listen,
Making a
listen,
name for
listen, listen, listen,
yourself
listen, listen,
comes
listen.
with it.
If
It comes
you
with it.
if you if you aren't just like a gorgeous human, then you're gonna have to, like, let's say you're just an average looking dude, there's nothing special about you, right? You got to get really fucking good at something. You got to get good at something. You got to be successful and an authority in something. It doesn't mean you need to be rich. You just gotta get good at something, and because you're good at that something, that's going to create the opportunities that you seek, and it will allow you to have, a better life and prosper and things like that. But if you go for the girl first, but you're like, you just have so many things about yourself you have to work on. You get what I'm saying? Like, you're jumping ahead before handling things, like, in the first place. Like, you'll see dudes, they don't know how to talk to people. They don't have any social skills. They have nothing really going for them, and they're jumping like right to the prize. It's like, dude, you gotta way bring it back first, right? Take it one day at a time, develop your skills. I don't know how young this person is. Go to school, get educated, go through college. College, I don't think you need to do college. I was a very, like, college is good for developing skills and kind of finding who you are and dealing with people and learning how to deal with shit. I halfway through, I was like, I did my 2 years and I was like, I did it to do it, but I was like, I have way better people skills than what I feel I'm being able to express being boxed into the confines of, like, formal education. Does that make sense? Like, I need to be in the trenches somewhere doing something. I didn't know what it was gonna be, and I just figured it out. But
I was
yeah,
I was gonna say, yeah, I don't like when people ask that question, it lets me know where their mind is at.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like, whenever kids ask me like, how do I stay motivated in the gym, or like, how do I get sponsored by this company or X, Y, and Z, I'm like, you probably won't get sponsored, or you'll
If you're
probably
asking
stop
that, yeah.
lifting. Yeah, you'll probably stop lifting in like a year or two, or you'll go to whatever next trend. You need to identify what your why is, and whatever your why is, you need to attack that why every single fucking day, right? So if making a name for yourself is such a weird goal, I feel like that's such a soulless pursuit, like, of
Being
fame.
famous is like the
Um,
worst thing ever.
yeah, I'm just gonna say that maybe he worded that wrong, and he
Yeah, yeah,
maybe
yeah.
wanted to say, "How do I
Become
make
great.
it as a powerlifting athlete," or
Yeah.
something? How to become great? Uh, but like I said, you have to identify your why and attack that shit every single day. If you want to be a great powerlifter, you have to put the work in. If you want to make a name for yourself or get sponsored by certain companies or whatever, that comes with being great at something.
Yeah.
What's his name? Pinoy lifter, Pinoy lift.
Bulldozer?
What's his fucking name? Ethan. I know his name is Ethan, but what's his
Pinoy
account name?
Bulldozer? I don't, I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
Pinoy Bulldozer. I like what he does because he's not a great lifter, but he makes funny
He's all right. He's all
content.
right. He's all
Yeah, and like he's become he's slowly becoming a pillar in the powerlifting community because he makes good content and he's great at that. That's how he's making a name for himself. I don't necessarily think his goal was to make a name for himself. Maybe like that's one of the side goals that he had, but at the same time too, he probably just wanted to make an account where he just had fun with powerlifting and ended up getting to where he's at now. So you just have to look at things like that. Like you can't, and it really bothers me when I hear people say like, "How do I become famous? How do I get followers?"
One of the
Like why would anyone follow you? Like, ask yourself that question.
Yeah, one of the things that to just make sure it's articulated that I realized, like, the psychology side of things, just speaking with lifters for so many years, I think that people, especially they go into powerlifting, it gives them an opportunity to have value in themselves and achieve things that they could be proud of. And so when someone asks, like, I don't know if this lifter is like, I hope this lifter is not like 40. I hope this lifter is like young asking that question. But like making a name making a name for yourself. If that happens, it comes from the byproduct of the great work that you do over time, and you get recognition for that doing that consistently. Like to what these other two distinguished gentlemen have said, um, these things don't happen. Like you don't make a name for yourself because like, oh, I got into this game because I want to be known or I want to be famous. There's I like Russ wanted to be the best in the world and he enjoyed competing and wanted to pursue that. Joe just loves the shit. It was fun. He liked the challenge, the stress, likes the high chaos things. Those things stimulate him. And that's why he continues to do it. And he likes working with people and he enjoys the moment. I think we all enjoy the camaraderie, right? So pursuing that, working to be as best as we possibly can. We're trying to be the best that we can, like everyone else in the world is at this sport. And it's by doing great work, their names have been able to been put out there many, many times. And so, yeah, all this is to be said. Like, don't chase trying to be famous. Don't chase trying to like make a name for yourself or have attention or whatever. Don't try to get value, great at what you do. Keep working on that. Impact your community and the people around you in a positive way. Don't try to reach like that impactful post or that impactful PR or that impactful whatever, right? Don't try to reach for it. Like my mindset, if this would help, I'll explain where my process is. Where my head is at today is I will sleep when all the work is done for the day. I will put my lifters first, my family first. I'm going to continue to focus on every area that needs to improve. I'm going to continue to strengthen my strengths. That's all I'm focused on. I'm going to take it one day at a time. And I'm going to make sure that my team is prepared and represents all of us together as best as possible. I take care of those things, everything else will handle itself.
All right, I'm gonna go watch the Fantastic Four trailer and look for Easter eggs for the next
Wait,
month.
can I get two combos off?
Go ahead, go ahead, go ahead,
And
go
we
ahead.
we don't get a lot of time to like kind of like talk about things openly. So,
Yeah.
Body, I know you wanted to jump. I know you had like one topic you wanted to bring in from what we were talking about this morning. Um,
Oh,
yeah,
uh,
I'll talk about this one first, very briefly. What did you guys think about that comment about championships don't matter or whatever that comment was? I didn't even want to bring it up, but I'm like, fuck it, we're here, so we might as well just talk and give our take on that.
Matters to me, and that's all that fucking matters. I don't care. You know what I mean? I don't. I got nothing. I got nothing. Then I got
Yeah,
nothing.
because body alerted me that there's, I don't know if there's a growing sentiment that like that doesn't matter or something.
I think it got a
oh
good
no,
amount of
I don't.
pushback.
Okay,
No,
okay.
I don't think it's growing. I think okay. So I actually have the other topic here,
Keep talking. Keep talking.
but pretty much. Why are you doing what you're doing? Like, like why are we here? Like, I think
Yeah.
that I think that individuals they see like they get discouraged because of they see the level that select few are at, see that, and they're like, that's so far ahead. How am I going to ever be able to achieve that? Whether it be from a coach's perspective or athlete's perspective. And again, that's the thing. It's just like I do this because I want to attract lifters that want to be their best. But I'll make it clear and known that I want to win world titles. I want to win national titles. I want to win world titles. That's why I do this. I want to reach the pinnacle of the pinnacle. I want to do the hardest things possible in what it is that we do. That I can't even imagine the pride. I've had so much pride for you guys, um, winning and doing things you guys have done. One junior world title I won was just a small little taste. Like, okay, like there's a statistic out there that is about almost a third. Well, I don't know, it might be different now, but in the 2010 to 2020 era in powerlifting, a third of junior world champions ended up becoming open world champions. There's a stat that was posted with that. So knowing that, I was like, okay, this is a small taste of that. I want that. That's why I do what we do. And you look at like the battle with Kaiko winning the other week with in nationals. That is so hard to do with that level of intensity. You having the 83 battles that you've had over the years, beating Brett Gibbs or beating, or redeeming yourself as Sheffield in that 83 battle. That's so hard to do. If you're just gonna say that, if you just post the heaviest total ever at a local, you do it on a national stage, but you don't go to the IPF world stage and do it against the best of the best in the world, where you cannot account for the scenario that's going to take place on the day, the random variables that you could not have accounted for, the random things are going to hit you and come your way, and you have to be an athlete, you have to be a gamer in the moment. That's what it makes those championships so difficult and to even get there. So to say that championships don't matter, whatever, I think that that is a poor attack, devalue championships, and it's because it's known how hard it is to achieve those things. I just think that's just a very bad take. And to say that championships don't matter, especially in a sport or sports, like, well, what are we doing this for then? Some people they compete some people compete recreationally because they just want to have fun
Yeah,
and they
that's
don't
okay.
have the mindset to push themselves, go through the stress and the hard challenges, right? They don't want to go through that. They don't want the smoke. And that's okay. Not everyone wants smoke. Everyone just wants to live in peace, just enjoy, have their time, live life. That's cool. But then you have people that are like, excuse my language, fuck that. I I want to be in the hardest scenarios at every moment that I possibly can with my soldiers, my athletes, my warriors. I want to go to battle with my family. I want to pursue being great. And that is something that makes sports special. But to say that championships don't matter, like again,
That
what the
shit
fuck are we
offended the
doing this
fuck out of
for? Why are we
Chris. I
here?
didn't really feel.
Like,
I didn't really pay too much mind to it, but Chris
Yeah,
was.
whenever that conversation came up, I remember in the chat I said I'm not even dignifying that with a response. I was like, not that like I was looking to respond. Whenever you guys said, I was like, I'm not even giving my opinion on this because like, what are we like, what is this conversation? But yeah, I mean, kind of echoing what you said, like, yeah, what is this all for then? And it's the same way in other sports. Yo, if you do something like in a normal game, and then you get to the playoffs, and all of a sudden you can't do it no more, you're in the championship game, and then like let's say you drop 81 during the regular season, everyone's calling you the GOAT, right? And then you get to the playoffs, or you're in the championship game, you just clinking the motherfuckers, just clink, clink, clink. Are you still the GOAT? No.
And that's why
Like
Michael Jordan.
if you total like if you go to a local meet, you total 900 as an 83, and then you get to the championship round where you all you gotta do is do that shit again. You can't do it. Are you the GOAT just because you did that 900 at a local meet? It don't work
yeah.
like that. It doesn't work like that. That's not how sports has ever worked. Like level of competition matters. Who you competed with matters. The places you complete, like everything matters. So just to say that, like, it's just like it's such a weird. So what's the point of having championships? Like, what's the
It's
point
so
of
weird to me because Rondell's in a position where he can't compete at championships. And I wonder
can't?
if when that was said, he was in mind because like we know he's like super strong, but by the time he gets back, there's gonna be a couple more boys there, and
Yeah,
he'll be
that's one of the
ashamed.
saddest. Yeah, that's a pretty sad
So
legacy. Like his legacy, like his story sucks. Like I don't like that shit.
yeah,
I
like
mean, like he's been
politics.
from what I understand, he's the best lifter in the federation, and he literally just cannot compete due to politics. And by the time he does come back, that time of like when he was like, I mean, he's still like that, but like from the time where like he could have been ringing off world championships and getting best lifters and all that kind of stuff to now, it's just like, bro, that's so much wasted time for no reason, right? And unfortunately, like your name's gonna get forgotten. Like that's just how the game works. Like it's like if you're not there to compete, like you can't etch your name in history. Like
And it
one of my
sucks
biggest
because
regrets, yeah, one of my biggest regrets is the fact that I was competing in the USAPL and I missed out on 2 more world championships. Like that shit sucks, but it was a decision I made. Now my name might get erased in history because it's like I only walked away with 2. I mean, like in the 83s, you know what I mean? So it's like if you're not there to do it on the biggest stage, I mean, I was still putting up the best totals in the 83s in a different federation, but it doesn't ring the same whenever it's not on that world championship level.
That stage is where you prove you are the best.
Yep.
I think that person or whoever said it, it might have been thinking about the Rondell situation because I could see how you would be like, well, he's obviously putting up these big ass guest lifter totals, but he's not able to do it just because of a dumb rule. But I don't know.
Yeah.
Joe Borenstein will say it himself, and I've talked to him in person. He knows that he needs to go to the IPF World Tournament and still get it done. He knows
Yeah.
that. His
Yeah.
story won't be complete without that. He has to
Yeah.
do that.
I didn't even like he yeah, he knows. Like if he loses, it sucks because now it's like everyone's gonna turn and look
Yup.
at look at 100. They're gonna be like, what
Yeah, like,
happened?
oh, this has to be said too. Someone said, oh, I know who said it. You know the group chats, they be talking, and
Fuck the group chats.
I know, right? They said like, oh, like Russ is ducking Joe Bornstein. Russ is ducking Joe Bornstein, and I'm like, I said that real straight, real quick, and I was like, brother, he just redeemed himself in a head up. Everyone was saying he was cooked.
Hold
He
that thought.
lost at Worlds.
Let's
Hold
answer
on,
right
Joe, hold
here.
on,
All right.
hold on. He went away from home in enemy territory where Jones and Ade are literally two. It's like a 2-3 hour drive. They're in their backyard. We had to go to their backyard. And Russ went and redeemed, and also went against one of the top 83s in Ade as well. He beat both of them. Objectively, that's special. Those two are their Burns is a respected world champion. Ade is on the come up. Ade is going to have a crazy battle with Joe Bornstein. But my whole thing, just to set the record straight with this, is he went and faced the person that beat him and also had to beat another person from the same country. He was at the disadvantage. Russ was at the disadvantage. They had the home field advantage with the home field crowd. And so he's not ducking anything. He's never ducked. He went and redeemed that. You're asking this guy where the rest of these 83s have had months of preparation and he's got to do this turnaround. It don't work like that. It
Nah,
just so happened that the way that this is working, where yeah, this is like the passing of the torch. Now it would be somehow, some way, it'd be crazy if Borenstein was going to do World Games. That would be fair because now
Hold
you
on.
guys have your.
I know where you're at.
Hold on. Now you guys have your due time to head up there. But as far as like ducking, ain't nobody being ducked. He just redeemed himself from someone he just lost to.
no, it's not even. It's just the schedule. Where people, yeah, I don't know where people come up with these things. The schedule just didn't line. Like the goal was to always move to 93, and I had to compete at Sheffield. And then what do you want me to like? What the schedule
Russ,
shakes
let's
out?
say hypothetically speaking, in a magical world where Taylor does an APF, perhaps gets a wild card, you go to World Games, perhaps get a wild card, but they say we want you to do Sheffield, but we want you to do it at 83 and do a three-way. Would you do that?
Nope.
Go on.
Oh yeah, nah. Just because
We're having
for
a lot of
what?
fun being big, being moving up right now,
Yeah,
but
like
it
for
sucks
what?
that
Like I like y'all like I'm not gonna let people control my narrative, bro. Like Bro, Joey, how long have we been talking about moving up? How many times have you told me to
I
move up?
wanted to
Like,
do it in 2022, and after your nationals, I thought to myself like,
yeah, it sounded so.
we
Bro,
could have,
so the
you could
goal,
have gone to
the
Worlds for
plan,
93.
yeah, the plan was to, the plan was to do IPF Worlds, win my third title, and then go up to 93s. I low key just wanted to do Sheffield as 93. Like
Mm.
that's what I wanted
But
to
we
do.
couldn't. Yeah.
But I fucked up at Worlds, right? Had to stay as an 83 because I'm like, all right, bro, I can't. I'm not having my last meet like this. It's just not happening. So I had to get my get back. And I got my get back. So it's like, okay, like fucking who, what, when? Like I
No,
don't.
You've
It's
shown
the
too much
schedule.
promise being heavier for us not at this stage in your career
Yeah,
to
there's
try
two
it.
like I don't think people
it's good.
understand too. What's up?
It's it's good to clarify it. It's good to like
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nah,
hear
because
you guys
yeah,
say, but
I think
also
people don't understand like the scheduling part of it too. It's like Joe hit me and when we were talking, he's like, "Yo, like, are you competing at 83 at nationals?" I was like, "Not like, bro. My shot at whatever I told it at Sheffield, go beat that, fam. That's my that's my nats right there. Go take it.
yeah. Uh,
That's because I'm like, bro, I can't turn around my body like that in 8 weeks or 10 weeks,
right.
however long. And then from that point on, like we all have different commitments. Like I'm gonna do World Games from that point on, and I'm sure they'll probably do one more meet to close out their year. If not, just kind of chill for the year and build. But even World Games, like if World Games wasn't World Games, I would be fully committed to 93s at this point.
I might have
Like
to tell fam, we have to cut from the heaviest possible because I don't want to
I'm
do
not
it.
even that heavy, which is funny. Like I'm literally like 3 or 4 pounds up from when I was getting ready for Sheffield. But yeah, yeah, I don't. Yeah, there's
I
no
want
there's
to
no.
make sure it's. I want to make sure that it's articulation is important.
Yeah, no,
Like
no.
in terms of ducking what we just ran back match, which was not favorable for you, and you redeemed yourself in that. So ducking what in terms of like people will try to take shots and say like, well, coaches need to start looking at the way that they program or whatever so they can do meets back to back. It's like, nah, dog. Like not everybody is durable like that, and the stronger and the longer that the lifter
Oh,
has been
even
within a class.
even this too. Joey asked me if I wanted to do a certain meet. I said hell no, too close.
Yeah. So pretty much, I like to address the things that people don't understand and clarify. And I spoke with that individual and the person they understood it better, but it's just like going back to the championships things and all that for Joe Bornstein. It's their time now in the 83s to like you're closing out your time in the 83s. It's Joe Bornstein's time now to go overcome Ade. And Ade's time to try to overcome Bornstein and
Mhm.
see what happens with see what Jurns can do as he's still here and all the other 83s that are coming up. But yeah, like people don't stay in classes forever. People don't win forever. And yeah, going back to the championship thing, Borenstein has to. There's an Ade out there,
Yeah,
and there's an Ina out there that can pull 1 billion pounds off the floor. You can rip the earth off the ground. You know what I mean? So,
Chris.
um,
We can go all day, but I mean I'm just gonna make the title of this video is Russ ducking the 83s
That's
and
crazy. That's crazy.
that's just get everybody's
Ducking
gonna click on that. What? I'm gonna hit up
crazy.
Dre. I'm gonna hit up
Ducking is diabolical.
ducking is diabolical. It's not, bro. It's
Body, are
not.
you muted?
We're powerlifting. We're not fucking hitting people in the face. It's not ducking. What are we ducking? You know what I'm saying? Anyway, thank you guys if you made it this far. I really appreciate it, Russ. I really appreciate your time, Chris. Thank you for
Sir.
providing your vast insight to I don't even know what you hear the voice of the community and you can bring those discussions to us and we can have interesting conversations about it. But thank you guys so much. You guys know where to find Russ at Russwole, literally everywhere. Um, Big Body at on Instagram. What is it? Big Body
Big
Fitness.
body. Ferrari.
Spell
How do you say your last name, bro?
Ferrati. He just muted again. It's all good.
Oh,
I'll just speak for
And
him.
we
He's
we done cooked
he's just
ourselves
gonna post
again.
up there while we talk. Anyway, flextradesystems.com, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.